Hey folks, today's video is brought to you by Sleepgram and their amazing, soft, cool bamboo sheets and pillows. I have known about bamboo in the bedroom for years now. Bamboo, the sheets and the pillowcases, it's cooler than cotton. It wicks a lot more moisture than cotton, and the fibers are much stronger than cotton. They last a long time. Bamboo has very long strands, and cotton is woven short strands. It makes for a much more durable garment, or in this case, the sheet. Bamboo is also one of the most renewable materials on Earth. A natural bamboo plant can grow 4 or 5 feet in a day, making this product endlessly renewable. But most importantly, how it applies to me and my chubbiness is here in California, in my home without air conditioning, a sheet that makes my bed 3 degrees cooler at all times is a big win. So I love my Sleepgram sheets and pillows. They keep my bed cool, they're very soft and durable, and you can get them by hitting the link in the description. We got a special deal for you, and now enjoy this video. Hey folks, welcome to a truncated experience. When the beggar cannot be the chooser, we have to accept what we are handed, and we were given 3 hours with the Ferrari SF90 Stradale up in the mountains here. So a video we will make. This is a very complicated product that I will try to break down for you as simply as I can. Okay, it's based loosely, heavily modified, but based on the same platform that has the F8, the 488 before that, and the 458 before that. But it's been really reinforced with a carbon fiber bulkhead, carbon fiber engine compartment, also an all-new aluminum floor pan, some new body panels, and lots and lots and lots of carbon fiber. The powertrain is bananas. It is a hybrid that features a 4-liter twin-turbo gasoline V8, and then 3 electric motors, one mounted in between the engine and the 8-speed dual-clutch gearbox, which is all new, and 2 powering the front wheels. If this sounds familiar, it's how the Acura NSX works, except unlike the Acura NSX, this one makes 986 combined horsepower. Is that enough for you yet? Are we not entertained yet? 986 freaking horsepower. 217 of those come from the electric motors. Okay, the one back there is used for torque fill. The ones up there in the front are used as an infinitely variable torque vectoring system. When I reviewed the NSX, I referred to that as magic steering, and that is what we are going to have here. This is a steering that turns you into a hero. Okay, we've got some active aero going on, including a stall gurney flap in the back. They've got the controls and the instrument cluster. They've sort of hybridized, no pun intended, what was there before from the F8 with what you could get with the Roma, which means touch buttons. Ew. Touch buttons are the worst, and they almost would keep me out of this car. They're bad. This one also comes with the Assetto Fiorano specification, which is what they might have called HGTE in the past. It in this case actually comes with non-adjustable multimatic shocks. You've got to give up nose lift for it, but lots of extra carbon fiber, titanium springs, a titanium exhaust, the high downforce spoiler package, and Cup 2 tires. You save about 100 pounds, and you get to say you've got all that cool stuff, plus multimatic. That's racing things. That package costs around $40,000. The gearbox is lighter and lower than the old one, and it doesn't have a reverse. When you've got a hybrid system, you can use your EV motors for reverse, so you don't need a reverse gear. The clutch time has been improved by 35% since before. And the complete EV powertrain adds 270 kilograms, which is a lot, but we're talking about a plus 217 horsepower. It comes out in the wash. You can drive 25 kilometers on EV mode only at the maximum of 135 kilometers per hour. You've got brake-by-wire, which prioritizes the regen, maximizing the use of your battery, and a whole bunch of different modes that allow you to choose your weapon. Right now I'm in full electric. I can also go into hybrid. I can then go to performance, that'll fire the gas engine and keep it on, and then qualifying, which is full beans, max drain, empty that battery into these tires. We're going to start on electric mode, which is creatively named ED. How fast is this thing? Well, around Fiorano, it does a 79-second lap. What does that mean? 0.7 of a second per lap faster than the LaFerrari. Woo! With a V8 instead of a V12. It's 2.5 seconds faster than the Pista, despite weighing almost 300 kilograms more. It's 10.6 seconds a lap faster than the Ferrari F40, and because this statistic is incredibly important, it is 25 seconds a lap faster than my Ferrari 328 GTS. The base price is $507,000. As tested, you're looking at about 700 G's right here, my friends. So, now that I have yapped sufficiently... Oh, I turned it off. Now it's on. Space Jetsons noises. Space Jetsons noises. Gear. And we will motor away silently. Silently. And then, so electric, okay? Yes, it goes into electric. Right, now qualifying, left foot brake, right foot gas, and go. Whoa! Jail time. And that's jail time. That's how that system works. This is a 9-second car, straight up. The all-wheel drive launch will do 0 to 60 in 2.5, claimed, and I believe it. My butt tells me that, yes, that's a 2.5-second launch. And should we just... Cancel. Cancel.
Explain the request, please.
Cancel. Note to your UX engineers, you should never have the button that isn't really a button to use the voice activated thing right where your steering wheel goes. You just shouldn't, right? Now, the power. Oh, how am I in automatic mode? Well, let me go to M. Just like before, you start in automatic, you toggle your M. Whoa! Bananas, folks. They've really smoothed out the gearbox. In the F8, it sort of got some engineered kick in there, some emozione, if that's the correct word. Now, it's smooth. It's predictable, and it's exactly the same every time. It's kind of moved in the direction of that sort of PDK, right? Are we going to get a... Oh, well, if you just aren't a gentleman and a scholar... Well, it still sounds good. Still sounds like a Ferrari. And the truth is, if you put it in this performance mode, the hybrid system is, and I mean this, pretty seamless. Obviously, the power is insane, and it's got the grip because it's all-wheel drive, right? So you're not losing it to wheel spin. It's not giving you that Indy car out of the pits, chatter. It's just getting to the ground. The chassis is very rigid, depending on how you measure it, between 20% and 35% more rigid than the Pista. Wow, it's a very good thing we've got shift lights on the steering wheel, because I don't even want to attempt to read the gauge while I've got my foot down. You just get the instant tunnel vision. Ooh, and then what I really like is these shocks. Even though this is like the super track pack, it's really making nice work of mid-corner bumps. It's not too abusive. Oh, see, that's nice. It really swallows up the big ones, and it turns it into just that one down, one up. That's what you like. Now, I don't want to follow a Nissan NV200. So we will see the turning radius. How is it? Pretty good. Pretty good. Whoopsie daisy. Pack is 7.9 kilowatt hours. I think the electric motor is 167 kilowatt, I believe. Maybe 163, somewhere in that range. Well, this is very, very easy to drive fast. You don't have too wide front tires, 255s in the front. I believe it's a 315 in the back, ZR20 in a Cup 2. Loads of grip. Cyclist, we will slow and give them space. Don't want to ruin a day in the canyons with little vehicular manslaughter, you know what I'm saying? Thank God it still sounds proper. Thank God they haven't gotten rid of that. The brakes are by wire. I have to say, I'm impressed with the programming. It's not too grabby. The brake pedal feel isn't too funky. Although the press releases say that it prioritizes the regen over the mechanical ceramic brakes, I have to say that whatever priorities it's taken to make the transition back and forth, I don't notice them as the driver. Me, is this thing fast? I mean, you want to talk about getting in a lot of trouble in a car. This thing is so stupid. Oh my God. There isn't a public road anywhere where this is usable. And that doesn't mean it's bad to drive at below a zillion miles an hour. It's lovely to drive. I drove it up here from Beverly Hills, and there is fundamentally no drawback. Once you've written the check, the power is there, and there's really no downside. Well, since there's vehicles, I mean, we should just... So if I just go qualify, and that's it, right? Left foot brake, right foot gas, power start, right? No?
No power start.
No power start?
Not on the press car.
Oh, boo.
But you can do there.
Like, but what? It'll do it, kind of?
No, your foot, yeah.
It'll kind of do it? Yeah, that won't really. Wow, what was really good there was when you hit those hops at that speed, there was no reduction in grip. I mean, my ass was going up and down, but the car maintained the contact patch. That was very good. Let's just say that this is extremely capable. Wow, it's fucking bananas, huh? Whoa! That is pretty gnarly. We're gonna find a spot to flip around. Let Zach have a go.
No, that was good.
I kind of wish there was a little more kick in the gearbox. That's like they've really smoothed it out, and smoother is objectively better.
Yeah.
But
It's faster too, right?
yeah, but all right. So we have to let Zach have a go, and it's a one at a timer today. But like I said, los bigars cannot be choosers.
Okay, very special day indeed. Obviously, Matt has set this car up. You guys know what it is. This is the most expensive Ferrari I've ever driven, the fastest one I've ever driven, the only hybrid I've ever driven, because the only other one is the LaFerrari, of course. It's an interesting car. It kind of, a strange way to say it, democratizes hybrid hypercar technology. You know, before you had to spend $1.5 million or more to get a LaFerrari. This has a V8 instead of a V12, but it does have a hybrid power plant, and it has almost 1,000 horsepower. Both are very fast. Both are quite special. This one is just the slightly cheaper model, but very technologically advanced. A lot of changes in this compared to that car. Yes, it's the engine from the F8 Tributo, but they changed the heads. The power has been raised. The big thing, though, is that they were able to mount the engine 15 millimeters lower. Part of that is thanks to the transmission. They also reconfigured the engine's layout a little bit in terms of where the turbos go, and that lowered the center of gravity. And if you look at the engine shot right now, the engine looks like it is falling out of the car and it's just resting on the ground. It is so low down. Even when I read the spec sheet and then when I saw it in person, I couldn't believe how low it sits in the engine bay. For a drive, I'm gonna actually start out in electric mode just to experience it. I mean, this is a silent hypercar. No nose lift. I'm gonna go off very carefully on that curb. Okay, and we're clear. It's the Jetson sounds, it's the space sounds. You're hearing, you know, gears whirring, transmission whirring, little whoop. It feels special. I think some people are worried that this car won't feel special or won't feel like a Ferrari, but it depends on how you define what a Ferrari is. And that's a subjective thing. That's up to each person. I'm not going to try to project my definition onto you, and you shouldn't do the same to me. What I feel right now is I'm very aware that I'm wrapped in a carbon fiber suit that has a lot of advanced technology in it, a lot of it handed down from the F1 team, and this is capable of going extremely fast. But right now, it's just driving like a normal EV, totally quiet. I'm going to use this little haptic thing on the left. I'm not a big fan of these because I can't tell when I've hit them successfully. My eyes are already off the road a bit too much for my liking. But now I'm in hybrid mode. So this is like the normal daily driving kind of mode. The engine kicks on silently, basically. It's a pretty quiet engine. Out on the outside, when Matt revved it and when he took off, I mean, you could hear it, but it's not the loudest of the cars that I've experienced. Transmission is really fast. It's a new Ferrari design, 20 pounds lighter than the last one. I think it's really cool. It's a dry sump transmission. So they figured out a new way to lubricate the transmission. It only has one fluid instead of two fluids, and it's a dry sump system, which is usually what you get in a really high performance engine. Shifts really fast, as you'd expect. These paddles feel great. The shifting action feels awesome. They're carbon. You can tell that they're rigid. You feel like you're actually moving a mechanical lever, even though it may just be an electronic servo or something. Okay, now it just kicked down into EV mode. So now we're back in electric mode, driving behind this person in their Jeep Cherokee, and just kind of cruising along. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of weird to see the Ferrari horse, the amazing yellow tack, which is digital here, but I think they do a very good job of making it clear and exciting to look at. But I can't hear anything. But that's the future we're headed towards, right? Or actually the future we are in. We're in the present. While we're waiting for this person to clear out of the way, Ferrari made a lot of efforts into the aerodynamics of the car. I'm going to show some of the graphics right now, and it is really impressive. There are so many heat exchangers, vents, scoops, Venturis. Like the whole car is working really hard to slip through the air, pull the car down to the ground, and extract heat, of course. I mean, this thing's going to generate a lot of heat because it's a turbocharged engine and it has an electric motor. So the big air scoop in the front, that's cooling the main coolant for the engines and also directing air to the brakes. Let's see if I can just turn around here. That would be great. The front brakes themselves, they worked with Brembo to develop these little scoops that pull air from underneath the car, send it past the brakes to cool the brakes, and they were able to drop the temperatures, I think, 15 degrees, which can be a very significant amount when it's important to cool your brakes off. The under tray, they raised the floor 15 millimeters, so they were able to shove a different Venturi under there to pull even more air in. And then, of course, the big scoops, just aft of the front windows, or the only windows really, those have 3 different intakes in them. One for the intercoolers, one for the engine's intake itself, and then one for the rear brakes. There's a whole lot of air being managed here to keep everything cold or cool, keep things from melting, and keep the car going as fast as possible and slip through the air as fast as possible. And speaking of fast as possible, let's go to performance mode. This is a auditory experience. Definitely not, it's not loud like maybe the 458 is or the 360 is, but where those tend to be kind of a singular sound, you're just hearing engine noise. In here, I'm hearing turbo whistle, I hear the exhaust in the back. I think I'm hearing gear whine in the front. That's where the 2 electric motors are. Woo, you can hear the turbos through the intake. That's really cool. Geez, the damping is very good in this. This is the track suspension, but I was expecting it to feel really, really rigid. Okay, well, over that crack, it was a little bit of a shake. Wow. I think this is louder than the F8 Tributo that I drove on the Haggerty show recently. There's more going on behind me. Transmission feels amazing. You can't. You don't know the front end motors are doing what they're doing until you look down at the speedometer and see that they are just destroying the road in front of you. It's seamless, and that's what you'd expect from a performance car. I do not feel comfortable exploring the limits of cornering on this road or getting anywhere near it. I'm not going to talk about that. I'll let someone else to handle that driving. But what I can say is that the people that are shopping for this car, I think, are two types of people. Either they want the newest, fastest, coolest thing, and they're always going to be chasing the newest, fastest, coolest thing. This fits that bill, right? This is the fastest Ferrari. It's new. It's got a lot of new technology. Blah blah blah. And then I think the other side are people that are looking for a really exciting experience. And a lot of us who have driven the NA Ferraris in the 90s and 2000s, maybe we think this isn't going to give us the same sensations because it's either has paddle shifters or it has too much technology going on, or does it sound right? I don't know. But if you're shopping for this car, if you don't have those preconceived notions and you get in it, you are going to have a ton of input going into your brain in terms of sounds, feeling, performance, all that other stuff. You are not going to be coming up short in terms of how it feels to drive this car. Just based on the volume of stuff going into your brain telling you how fast this is and how much noise it's making and how many systems are working. Like who's going to call this boring? It just sits down and starts going. It just goes and goes and goes. I think the electric motors work up until 124 miles an hour, and then it's a rear-wheel drive car only. If you're age 5 to 20, and this is the Ferrari, like the first Ferrari you see or hear about, it's a pretty exciting thing to see. Whoa. I don't know what it'll be like when they eventually make an all-electric Ferrari. You know, when the sounds are truly gone, that will be a very sad day. But for right now, I think there's plenty of noise happening in this car, and I want to go around the corner to turn around. There's plenty of noise happening in this car. My little bit of time with it, it's a very exciting thing to operate. I don't like the haptic buttons. I've already bumped the voice control by accident twice. That's a little bit annoying, but I guess it's a way to make things seem special, and it certainly seems like a spaceship. From the outside and the inside, I feel like I'm in some kind of alien craft for sure. So I'm going to kick it back to Matt to conclude. Thank you to Ferrari for letting me drive this nutty thing. Wow.
So, here's my thoughts. I wanted to be disappointed in it because the future being hybrid seems like a bad thing. And because going faster than the F8 or the Pista seems like diminishing returns. And to a certain extent, I'm going to maintain that position because this car is way too fast for anybody, myself included. This is way too fast. It's not a limited production car. It's not like the LaFerrari where it's like 500 of them and most of them will never be driven. This is a regular production car. You order one, you're gonna get it. And the only thing keeping you from getting it is your credit score and your bank account, not do you have a comp license, have you podiumed in something we've heard of. And that camera just got overheated, but it's okay, we'll cool it down. The point is, we're already beyond what anybody should be able to just buy. So going further in that direction is offering diminishing returns. On the other hand, the integration of gasoline powertrain and hybrid powertrain is incredibly seamless in your top performance driving modes. It's very fun to drive. You can drive it in EV if you want. I don't know why you'd spend $700K to do that. But fundamentally, it works. And after that drive I just took right there, we are showing 3 more miles in the tank than when we started. So it is possible to accidentally, inadvertently add more juice by mobbing. And that is the lesson. It's net positive. Or is it? I don't know.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.